Welcome back to the shop, guys. I'm going to be working on the fly cutter today and trying to get that finished up, and hopefully I'll get some good test cuts with it, and we'll see how successful I was on getting it made.
So now I'm going to go ahead and get it nice and trued up. If you remember from the last episode, it was kind of laying in there, not dialed in at all. So I'm going to get it running flat and true with the milling machine, and then we can go ahead and get these holes drilled for the countersinks.
So that guy is about 80 thousandths out. So I should be able to turn it to 40. Hopefully I'm going to be really close to splitting the difference. See what that looks like. Well, would you look at that? Alright, let's zero that out. So that is 3 thousandths low. So if I bring it up 1.5 thousandths, it should get me there. That, I would say, is good enough for government work. Tighten her on down. Oh, hold on. Let's get the machinist jack in there. Should have done my layout before I got it in the mill, all trammed in. So that's 244 thousandths deep there, and I want to be in the center of that, so I'm going to go 122 thousandths, half of that. The good thing is this isn't super critical. I mean, it's good to practice trying to be precise, which I am very lacking at. So let's see how that looks at 122 thousandths. And I came in from the edge 280 with that one. And then I'm just going to split the difference across there. So it was 130 across there, so I'm going to go 65 for the center. If this dimension was super critical, I would have broke this down and laid all this out on the bench. But, you know, and since I'm going to be using shorter, smaller tools, I think what I'm going to do is bias this second one a little more to the front. Probably won't be using that back one a whole lot, so I'm going to shorten that up a little bit and bias that toward the front. Of course, if I get that much stick out, it's probably gonna have problems with rigidity. We'll see. I'm gonna go 55. Right. Yeah, see, if I want to reach out there and get it that wide, I need that second hole up here. I think I will leave them biased like that. It won't be as pretty, but it's going to be very functional. I guess the unlazy thing to do would be to put 4 holes in there, but I'm too lazy to do that. Now I need to see if my setup is going to be sturdy enough. I'm going to go really easy with it. It's the only thing about the dadgum Sharpie. Instead of using real layout fluid. So what I'm using are 1024 grub screws. And according to the book and the Google machine, it is a number 25. Really, ideally, it would have taken more time, but I could have used the center drill, then swapped out without moving. These wrenches are so terrible. Definitely, that's got to be the next thing on my list, is to make a good tap wrench. I bought these guys. I thought they'd be pretty good. Oh man, I thought the head was going to be small enough to clear that. I may have to come back and scallop those a little bit just for the heads to clear. Threads aren't formed all the way down yet. I'm running out of room. I may have to drill through to give myself clearance on the other side for the tap, since I don't have bottoming taps. I thought I laid the head of that socket head screw up there and I had enough room. I was originally going to go with the smaller size. And I just like the beefiness of the 10 versus the 8. Yep. I'm making contact. I'm going to chase these out so they're clean again. What I should have done is when I drilled through, I should have drilled all the way into the bottom to give the tap somewhere to run out. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to grind this screw off a little bit, because I know the threads are good all the way until just almost the end. So what I'll do is basically just have a stud sticking out, pushing into the tool bit. So what I did was I just ground that down a little bit, put that little bit of a taper on there, take the threads off of it, so it'll go through the bottom where the threads aren't completely formed, and then that'll push up against the tool. And put those holes so close together, those are touching. I can't win, man. Maybe I ought to pay attention to what I'm doing. Yes, there should have been more thought put into this. Well, I'm sure this won't be my last one I make, so next time I will be more thoughtful about that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go in there and deburr all that too. Alright, well, I guess I'm gonna go ahead and take it out of the vise. Well, here she is ready to go. We're gonna give it a shot here and see what it does, and then if it works out okay, I'll go ahead and clean it up. I think what I'm going to do is go back and shorten these guys up a little bit, and I'm going to take some more off of those heads. They're touching up against each other, but yeah, I really screwed the pooch there. Originally when I set all this up, like I said, I was going to use 832s, and I wound up using these 1024s. I should have just stuck with the 832s, but oh well, live and learn, right? So let's see if we can make her do something. it's plenty big enough for that. So I'm going to have to go in reverse with that one. I'm going to have to look at it. I think, yeah, if I change the tool, I can spin the other way if I want to. I don't think that really, it's not going to really hurt anything though. Let's see what she does on her first cut. I'm interested to see how well I did keeping it true. I want to see what the back cut looks like. So that's 1,000 RPMs. I don't know if I speed it up a little bit. Like 1,200 RPMs. Oh, that's nice there. Speeding up my feed rate. That is really nice. It's a better finish than anything I've ever produced. I could probably stop right there, but I want to see what this backside's going to look like. Oh, yes. So that's telling me it's running true and my table's trimmed in good. Alright, now let's see what we can dial in here. Zero my Z. I'm going to do 3 thousandths. Just to see. Start somewhere. Nice. That's a little concerning. I think what that's telling me is my table is high on this side over here. Let me go 3,000 more. Come back this way. That is beautiful. I think it was prettier cutting it the other way. The problem is I've evidently got something out on my table, because once I make it through this leading edge, that back's not going to touch. But it did going the other way. Yep. So that tells me my table's a taste out, so I got to fix that. Look at that finish, guys. That was so hard to find in the middle of the camera. I just smudged it with my finger. Let me wipe that off. That is incredible. To get a finish like that from a hillbilly like me, hell yeah, I'll take it. And it's also telling me I got something wrong with my table, so I guess that'll be the next thing I have to straighten out.
I was gonna leave it right there. You know, things working, and got a couple of things I got to fix on the mill to get the table trimmed in right. But I just couldn't leave those grub screws looking like that. They were just that was horrible looking. They were sticking out too far, too close together. It was just horrendous. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and turn down these screw heads and then the stubs on the ends of the grub screws to go through the bottom of the holes that I drilled. And what I'm doing is, besides pushing the screw into the chuck, what I'm doing here is I'm going to go ahead and turn those heads down to, I think I brought them down to 220 thousandths. And then I don't remember what the length of the little stub on the end of the screws was that I brought them down to, but it was just enough to fit through the hole and then engage with the tooling. And it turned out pretty good here. I think you'll see in a minute that it definitely made it look a whole lot better. And I'll show you a before and after, how I was going to leave it and then what I wound up with. So I'll go ahead and get this end knocked down here, just enough to poke through to engage the tool. Get the ends broken off, those edges. Then I'll need to go back and break those edges there that I forgot. And you can see here it turned out pretty good. Definitely looks a lot better than what I had before. So here she is all finished, and I gotta say those two screws there, they look a lot better now that they're trimmed down, but I was really disappointed in how that turned out. I should have put a little more thought into that. The reason I put those close together to the front is so that I could slide that tool out pretty far and still have two grub screws on it, because I was afraid if it was in the center it was going to cut the range of the tool. But looking back on it, I don't know if that did me any good or not. I guess I'll find out, but I don't think I'll do that again on the next one. I mean, I guess I could have done 4 in there, but then they really all would have been tight. So it was really not the way to go, but I'm really happy with the finish I got on it. This is all new to me, and to being able to get a piece of machine steel like that, looking that nice with those nice rounded edges and just that finish on it is, I'm over the moon for it, and I can't wait to work on some more of it. And that finish that I got from the cutter itself turned out really, really well. That's like I said earlier in the video, I've never been able to get a finish like that on anything just because I've been using end mills. So there she is, all complete. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I want to thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate it. I enjoy piddling around out here in the shop. I like to make videos and play around with that, so it's a win-win for me. And if you get something out of what I'm doing in the shop, that's great for you, and hopefully you get some entertainment watching me screw up. So anyway, I'll see you on the next one.